Shalom, shalom to my brothers and sisters in Yahuah. I want to share with you guys some screen captures of recent events on Facebook. And it was involving a man here who I considered for many years to be Aki in Mashiach. However, he's come out very aggressively against Yahuah, saying that it's actually the name of Hashatan. He's even said that the Hebrew language is the language of Babylon, and just obviously being under Christianity and JC and rejecting Yahusha, Yahuah, anything that has to do with esteeming the name above all names. And this post that he shared, that you can see here on the screen, I was led in my Ruach to make a comment about it, and I just wanted to share it with you guys and give you guys also an alert. I'm sure most of you already know you need to be on high alert because there are many wolves out here as well as witches. And I'm just going to go ahead and state on the record that some of these people may not know. They may not be willingly engaging in the works of Hashatan or being, knowingly being deceptive. They could just be deceived themselves. I mean, I'll say that personally, I was very deceived for many years and thought that I was in the truth. And I think that's kind of the nature of it too. And part of the doctrines of Christianity, I think, create an environment where those followers will reject and rebel against anyone who tries to come with a voice outside of what they're esteeming. Their L, their JC, right? Their grace. Anyone who suggests that we need to observe the commandments, they call legalistic or legalist, which is actually adding to the instruction, not advising someone to follow instruction. So anyway, Matt Howard on Facebook shared this post from a Bella Anita Comas. And she says, I go through this one, it comes with the truth, but can cause division. And it says discernment, and it has a serpent. The spiritual ability to hear the hiss of the serpent. With discernment comes division. An individual who seeks discernment must be willing to suffer the effects of this division. It will divide not only the believer from an unbeliever, but it may even divide a discerning believer from one who is undiscerning. It will separate the mature believer from the immature, the naive from the wise and prudent. And I'm chuckling because of the irony of this. Because again, he's sharing this post about discernment, and I'm going to show you how he's lacking in discernment. So, let me see here. I said, irony, you shared this from an ordained woman pastor, and it is about discernment. So, I investigated the post that he shared, who originally shared it, this Bella Anita Comas, and she has right on the front of her profile page that she is an ordained Christian pastor. Of course, I tell him this, and he comes. You notice how they're always coming with the mocking and laughing, scoffing attitude. But he says, I want to start by saying it doesn't matter who I shared the meme from, it's truth. You're really reaching, brother, he says. Here's just a picture to show, okay, her front page. I think I did a little bit. I went in and looked a couple of the other posts that she had. We just need to be very mindful of this. Okay, so I said, have no fellowship with the works of darkness as Yahuah, but she says, as long as you're nice, you can have fellowship with her. And I said this is a hardcore contradiction from book. So there's a picture here. I think I'm going to have another screenshot of it. Okay, here it is. So in the picture it says, even if we disagree about everything, we can still be kind to each other. Okay? From this moment on, any form of negativity will not be tolerated on my personal profile or groups. Yes, you have the right to say what you want, but I also have the right to boot you out of my life. I am here to teach the gospel of Jesus, expose, spread joy and happiness. Okay? And I mean, this guy's like posting stuff about discernment. This woman has absolutely no discernment, has no understanding of the truth whatsoever. This is basically a doctrine that says coexist. She's preaching the doctrine of coexist. Okay? So let's see now. I wanted you to get a good taste of who she is and what she said. Now he comes at me with this. I want to start by saying it doesn't matter who I shared the meme from, it's truth. You're really reaching, brother. You've been looking for something to dig at me for ever since I showed you that you worship false names. I mean, God, the irony of this. So he's telling me that because I want to actually speak the name of the Father and the Son, that I'm on a false name, when he's just over here with his God and his Lord and his JC. Okay, so this is like completely inverted, right? What's bitter is sweet, what's up is down, what's left is right. I mean, it's so just to show you that. And then it says, he tells me, you worship a desert, pagan, Canaanite god. So just so we know, the Canaanite god is Baal, and the name is Lord for Baal. So again, it's literally like the pot calling the kettle black. And you use a name for the Son that it literally means to obliterate and blot out his name and memory. Anybody who's been studying this truth, okay, to use the name in vain is to cross out, write over, disregard, blot out. The name JC is obviously false. The letter J can be no more than 500 years old. You know, I tried to explain to him, well, you'll see what I have to say about that coming up in a little bit. But everything he's saying is literally what he is doing. And this is why we have to be very, very careful, because I think he believes these things. I think it's a spirit that exists within these circus, within these churches. So I'm hoping that this may be relevant to someone. I'm just trying to share this information for the edification of the Qadashayim. All right. And he said, the religious spirit of legalism are strong with you. Again, this is the accusation that I'm adding something to the law, because he's been taught for so long in Christianity that anyone says that you need to obey the commandments, they're legalists. Okay? There are so many times that I have put you on public blast for some of your ridiculous errors, but I haven't. So, and he says he loves me. Here's my thing with that. If you love your brother or sister, you come to them, you rebuke them with the word in truth, because we need to try to set one another straight. And I want to be rebuked by a brother or sister and be in truth. So I think it's unloving to just let someone continue in error and not try to correct. And I hope that you would agree with that. All right. So he just says he has sat and prayed for you instead and waited for God to, I don't know, maybe correct me or something. Waited for God to open up your eyes. The Hebrew roots cult is part of the great falling away, and I'm so glad I came out of that doctrine of devils. Wow. So anybody who wants to actually speak and esteem the name of Yahuwah or Yahusha gets grouped into this Hebrew roots cult. Hebrew roots cult. This is going to be how a lot of these ex-gens in the church view anyone who's walking in the truth. And this is part of the reason why I want to make everyone aware of this. And a lot of you probably already are. But what if it's all those who are following after a lawless king who are actually in in the false doctrine themselves, right? Which is a huge number. Okay. And then he says, may Gad have mercy. And I don't know if anybody is interested, but we did do a video on GAD, which is pronounced GAWD, which is the name of a mighty one, the fallen. And then, of course, he wants to put me on blast because I put on here Watchman Yirmiyahu ben Yashar'Al. By the way, that's not your name. You're a Gentile American. Stop living in a fantasy. Come back. I think he means to say to Jesus Christ. Let me see what I said. You know as well as I do that I am no longer in Babylonian captivity, the slave name that you want me to wear. Why? I will not come back to a name that is false and shared with other religions. And I'm meaning by that, Mormonism, Roman Catholicism, all these other different false Babylonian cults are more than happy to utilize that name for the supposed Son of the Most High, right? For Elohim in the flesh. So we obviously aren't going to be sharing names with them. That's crazy. So that's not even his name. You know it. You studied ancient languages. Now I'm challenging him on this because he claims to be some kind of an authority on ancient languages. And you studied ancient languages, and that name is less than 500 years old. Also, the Masons have a three-deity. Amalgamation of a name too. Jace, and that was that. What was that name that we just saw? That Jazz. Oh man, Freemasons have a name that's basically like three deities in one name. Jezbeelon or something.
It's Jehovah, Baal, and Ra.
Yeah.
Jehovah Ra.
Right, Jehovah, Baal, and Ra, and you look it up, and it's like a three-headed thing. It's like a spider with a frog's head and a cat's head, and it's crazy. But anyway, I wanted to make the point to him and hope that he can see it, or anyone else out there can please see this, okay? I hate to even say these names, but just for the point of edification, I will say Jesus H. Christ, Zeus, Horus, Krishna, okay? Just so everyone knows and is clear, his name is Yahusha HaMashiach, okay? So I told him, so now you are rebuked again. This woman is a witch. Hebrew is not Babylonian, meaning the language. You tried to say it was Babylonian. And now you want me to be yoked right back with you? No thanks. I am free. Come out of her too. Leave all of those false holy days and unclean everything else. Your man doll idols. And that's just because he plays with wrestling figurines and he's posting them all the time. Okay? It's not the way. It is a land of confusion and fantasy. I said, block me to show yourself disapproved. Oh, by the way, Gentiles is other nations. It's not a new covenant, it's a renewed covenant. Acts 10 makes all men clean who believe and practice righteousness. Do not be a worker of iniquity, but rather be a good and faithful servant who loves Mashiach and keeps his commandments. Shalom, thrice rebuked Matt. And he says to me, slave name? Are you for real right now? And then he did ultimately block me while I was trying to type up this response. Of course I am for real. I've been born into captivity under the curses of Yashar'Al's disobedience, lied to my whole life. Yahusha has made me alive and delivered me from Babylon and the pit. I walk in his ways as best I can, and he covers me when I fall short. I try to do better because I know better. I once denied all of this and believed the sugar-coated wolves who twist the truth. I am reaching out to you. There are many lies, and they do not have fellowship with the truth. plain and simple. Everyone, I'm sure, agrees. The truth does not have fellowship with the lies, right? We expose these things. So, of course, he did go on to block me, and I believe that's all that I have there on the screen share. So I just wanted to kind of share this as a witness, as evidence. I think that those who follow JC and are in these 501c3s are going to be some of the biggest threats to us who walk in truth, in Torah, who obey His commandments, who love Yahusha HaMashiach. I pray that this information be a blessing to whoever may receive it. So, Shalom, Shalom. Until next time, I'm out.